Welcome to another edition of What Keeps You Up at Night, the life of a rural entrepreneur. Today, we have with us Alicia Ryckman from COBS Bread, St. Thomas. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
First and foremost, why did you become an entrepreneur and why now?
Why now is because after working in retail for over 25 years, I really wanted to finish out my career doing something that mattered, that really meant something. And I didn't want to stay big bucks because I didn't have the control that I needed. I wanted to hire who I wanted and I give them the amount of hours I want to, pay them what I want to pay them, treat them the way I want to treat them, treat my customers the way I feel they should be treated. And I knew that I could do all those things, but that it would have to be me heading it off and me being the director of Toys R Us. That wasn't good enough. I still had to answer to other people on those items. So I decided that I would look into franchising because I didn't really have a skill that would put me in a new business that I could open somewhere in town. And so after looking at a lot of different franchises, COBS is what aligned as close to me as anything was COBS. Their philanthropy in their communities, coupled with their product that is just phenomenal, is really what drew me to choose that company. And after researching and doing everything, doing my due diligence, I knew I really wanted to be a part of this family. I knew that this is what I wanted to do until I didn't want to work anymore.
Well, you mentioned that COBS is a franchise. And so what is unique about that entrepreneurial experience as a franchisee?
So I've never been one before, so I can't compare it to anything else, although I can tell you that the support that you get from COBS has really been phenomenal. They do a fantastic training program to get you as much knowledge as you could possibly get. And really the rest is up to you. You've got to do the work. They'll put everything in place for you. They have, they've created the manuals and the POS and the SOPs, everything you need to do. It's kind of, you step into it and learn it. You didn't have to create that, which was really nice for me because I certainly didn't want to have to create policies and procedures and things like that. I wanted to get right into a job I could start working in.
And do you have a mentor or is there somebody that, do you have a support network?
Yeah, it's a really good question, actually. They place you in a bakery they do a 16-week program in a bakery. Some are close to you, others you've got to move into because COBS isn't huge in this part of the world right now. So for 16 weeks, I trained in a bakery. The owner of that also became my mentor. But then over time, you learn other COBS owners that you start connecting with and you're able to ask questions. But I could not have done this first year without the owner of that bakery, her name's Sarah, and was absolutely phenomenal in my success, to tell you the truth. She played a big part of it.
What about obstacles? Have you faced any obstacles? I want to ask as a female entrepreneur.
Well, it's interesting, actually. I always try to look at the glass half full and always look at the bright side of everything. So there's always been female challenges in business, right? I mean, it's part of the life. But I wouldn't say, there's been a few times where people have asked to speak to my husband or asked to speak to the owner, and I have a husband and he works full time so that I can do this. And, he's been incredibly supportive. But obstacles just in general, oh my gosh, I've never run a business before. Something broke in my store. I called, 1-800, come fix it. And if anything happened now, if something breaks, it's me getting it fixed. And so that's been a very new part, a big new part of my life.
And what about, you talked about being able to hire the people that you wanted. This gives you that kind of freedom, but it also comes with a big responsibility. So, those folks are relying on you and how well your business does in order to get paid. So what is that feeling like?
That's what keeps me up at night, right? That 100% is the most important thing I have in this building is the 21 people that work in it. They are like my family. They're an extension to my family. I was blessed to have a lot of time to hire the base people when I opened, because I wasn't, working. I didn't have to go to work 8 hours a day. I was really focused on hiring the right person. And we did multiple interviews and, really spent a lot of time getting the team together, and then invited that whole team of 24 at the time to my home and, invite them to get to know each other before we open this business together, get them to come to my home. I went to the London bakery and bought every single thing that she makes so that I could bring that to my home, and then they could try all those samples and see what the product should look like and taste like, because virtually none of them had ever been to a COBS Bread before getting this job. So not only did they not know the brand, they don't even know what it's supposed to look like, the product. So it was a really great beginning for me. And the biggest thing I care about is my people.
Do you have I don't want to say secret, but do you have a productivity hack that you can share with people? Something that you figured out that makes things run a little bit more efficiently for you personally or in your business?
Well, I think for me, the best thing you can do in a business like this is cross-train people and get everyone in your building to know everything in your building. And if you can do that, you can really become so much more productive. And it's just nicer for everybody to know everybody's job and to be able to do that. And you have a real understanding of what that person does in front of those ovens all day, if you've got to work a shift in them. I think cross-training is a huge part of a good business.
You mentioned London, which isn't far from where you are. What do you think the big difference is between being a rural entrepreneur and being an urban entrepreneur?
Wow. Couldn't night and day. So I grew up in Allen County, where I'm working here in St. Thomas. So I've been here most of my life, but I have spent the last 30 years in South London. So whereas that's where I was going to open. It just made sense, right? Open in the place I've been forever. But it turned out that the location wasn't available that I wanted. The next one's going to take too long. And one thing led to another. And I ended up here in St. Thomas. They're like, there's a place in St. Thomas that you could build. And I'm like, St. Thomas, So we went there. Oh my goodness. I cannot tell you. St. Thomas is amazing. It is got the best people. And it is different in the rural environment. They care so much about their community. They really come out and support things. We've been a part of a lot of different fundraisers, and I'm, like I said before, I love to give back and love to give. And so this community is really in it with me, and it's amazing. This would not be like this in London. It would not be like this in a big city. Like, I don't know if I'd ever want to open a bakery in a big city. It's just amazing. Like, I know my customers by name. They know me. Yeah. And if I will tell you exciting news, we were just named new business of the year, best new business of the year in St. Thomas, and best bakery. Thank you. Yeah, really exciting. So yeah, I never thought win best business. That's a lot of new businesses this year, but yeah, we got that. So the community is really feeling us, and can't say enough about the community.
Well, you're making an impact, obviously, on the community itself. What about challenges? Day to day, what are some of the challenges that you run into running a bakery?
Yeah, well, what's the biggest challenge? I guess the biggest challenge is to get everybody to understand the big picture, because it's hard, right? Everyone is like so concerned with their importance and what they do in their job, and instead of looking at how it all works together. So I think that I've been very lucky with my team. I have just hired the most incredible team, but you can definitely see that the workplace has changed a lot. And since I started hiring people many, many years ago, it's a very different workplace that we're in. And that's a challenge for me, because as I age, I'm the same. Like, I really am the same worker that I was all those years ago. Like, I will work till the job's done. I will stay till it's over. It's who I am. And because the world's changed so much, that's very that's not there so much anymore. And so it's hard. It's really just kind of hard to work around that. But I'm learning what is acceptable and what's not acceptable and how to do it. But, you know, challenges, every day is a new challenge. Like, it's just, you know, we want to make the best product and figure out what why did that cape seed collapse and not work out properly, troubleshooting, like different things that we're learning about our own product too, because we're just a year, right? We've just been here for 13 months. So it's very new.
Well, toys are seasonal. And so we're recording this before Christmas. Yep. So, you know, for a lot of years, you knew when your seasons were. Are you learning that in the bakery business too?
Yes. As just finished my first Thanksgiving, right, in October, going into my first Christmas, or my second Christmas now. So now everything will be the second time around. So it's really nice to have a little history and have some historical data, you know, kind of what a busy, you know, like what you would think is like December in my world. It's a write-off. I say goodbye to my husband in November and I say hello to him in January, and we don't really see each other through that whole month because that's really a 24-hour business in that world. You would think, oh, bakery December busy. It's not, right? Christmas week, that's busy, really, really busy. Thanksgiving week, Easter, but you know, the holidays, because it's a product you're taking and using pretty much right away, it's very much immediate to the holiday. So that is the difference for holidays. So we'll be ramping up, you know, the week of Christmas, but next week, the week after, it's pretty much all the same. And then it blows up. And you can't keep up at that point, right? Because you can make 6,000-7,000 dinner rolls in a day, but you can't make 20,000, right? And you need that many really to keep up on a really busy holiday.
Wow. So you get a little bit of your life back at Christmas time.
Oh, huge. Yeah. If I choose, I'm trying to start to not work as many hours. My first year, I didn't really take any time off or anything, but I'm going to.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's what you learn, right? Like yes. You have to, unless you take time off, you get burnt out. You have
Absolutely. You really do have to. And, you know, you build the team up to a place where they can do it, right? They can do it. And so trust them to do it. Like, yeah, I don't have to babysit them. That's not what they're here for, right? I'm their team. I'm as a team member when I'm here. I just help them. You know, I don't need to really be here for the most part, but I want to be here because this is like my world. I love this place. Why would I not want to be here? You know? So yeah.
I understand. What about what do you find the most gratifying?
Giving back. Well, 100% giving back. So we have given back. You will really be blown away by this number because it's a mind-blowing number. We have community partners. We have 7 different partners, and every night at the end of our day, anything that we haven't sold, we donate to them. And so we open fresh, brand new every morning. Everything's baked fresh every day. No day olds, none of that. In our first year, we donated, let me get the exact number, $580,000. 580, yes, 80. $500,000. Yes, that much money we donated in product in 12 months. So to that, I'm incredibly impressed. On June 7th, we did something called a community day where we picked a day and I picked the charity, and that charity would be the hospital, the Stieg, St. Thomas Elgin General. And we gave them 100% of our business for that day. And we raised $7,400 for the hospital on that day as well. So that's a really proud number for me. And then in the month of March of 2023, we had something, we do a donation month and then a donation day where every COBS in Canada picks a place that they're going to raise money for. We picked something called Harvest Hands, which is an incredible foundation here in St. Thomas. And we raised for them $24,000.
Wow. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
Which was the number one in Canada. There was no bakery that raised that much money. It was really exciting. Yeah, we really invested in giving back. So the best part of my job, believe it or not, is giving back. Like, I love that. That makes me excited. We have done, let me get a right number, 70, I put it somewhere. 33. We've done 33 community events in our first year.
What?
And and I've donated to every one of them. So we're really, really involved. Like, there shouldn't be too many people in town that doesn't know who COBS is, because we really try and get out there. And I'm really proud of that.
I love that. And so I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask if it is a COBS thing or an Alicia thing, or maybe a combination of the two.
It's a combination. So a COBS thing is mandatory that you come up with around $1,000 a day for your donation. So that is,
wow.
That is mandatory across Canada. Every bakery will do that. Give or take, for example, if sales aren't so good on a day, they're getting a lot more than if sales are are better. So it's, it's just based on what you think you're going to sell, and you add it and you bump it up. And that also means when somebody comes into my bakery at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock at night, it's not empty. There's still lots of bread. There's still lots of treats for people to look at and see, instead of having like 3 loaves of bread left and 2 scones. I mean, there's lots for them to still look at, because it's going to go to donation at the end. So it's really awesome.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that. That is incredible.
Never. I've never, ever, ever heard of giving to this degree. And it is, it's unthinkable, really, but we do it. It's just, it's part of the business. And so that's the COBS part. The daily donation. So it's called end of day or end of day donations. And then the donation day where we did that big Harvest Hands event, and then the day that was for the hospital, those are all COBS. Those are the 3 things you do. Like, that's what you do. It's not optional. You do it. You pick where you're going to do it. But then everything else, our 33 events, everything else that we do is all us. We're just picking. We have a little social committee here where it's a community committee. It's actually a community engagement person who's kind of makes sure that she gets everything that's happening in the town that we could potentially be part of. And we become part of it.
What does that do for your staff? I mean, they're part of it, right? So
they are part of it.
I can't even imagine what a gratifying feeling it is for them to work for an organization that prioritizes giving back.
Yeah, they are so proud. They're so proud, and they're so happy. And it's just, it is probably the best part of everybody's job. I bet if you were to ask everybody here, I would say it would be their one or two, their number one or number two, followed closely by the people they work with is probably their other one.
Now, I love to hear that. Doesn't everyone love to hear that? That you love the people that you work with? Can you say that about every job?
No, you cannot. You cannot. And this group deeply cares for each other. So we have that's a theme of our bakeries: kindness to ourselves, kindness to each other, kindness to our customers. And that is really the most important thing that we can be, is kind. And that's how I hired, is based on kindness. And you can come into this bakery any day of the week, any time of the day, and the person that greets you will show you kindness, because they just will. There are people that will come here and wait in line for Teresa, for example, because she gives good hugs. And where can you go where that's even allowed? I mean, do you know what I mean? It's not even okay to do that. And, she's an older lady, and she comes, and people they wait to talk to her, and everybody here is unique and special in their own way. And it's a group that's come together, a little mishmash of us. And we're just, we're a good little family. We really are. Care a lot about each other.
Through this experience, what has been the biggest life lesson that you've learned?
Oh, that's a great question. My biggest life lesson. Well, I've obviously been able to see a lot of faults in myself, and the things that I need to learn and grow and become a better leader in so many different ways. I don't know. I've learned so many things about myself.
That's a lot. So that takes a lot of vulnerability and humility for you the first thing that you said was that I've been able to work on things on myself. That is huge.
And a lot to go, like farther to go, right? Like I just keep learning. I want to stay in a place of learning always, right? Always like learning from COBS, who can teach me so many things about my business, and those leaders in there. There's like an area manager that helps. Learning from my coworkers, who I learn from every day. I learned from my husband, who's like a saint and the best man on the planet. And we just had our 25th wedding anniversary. We were supposed to go back to Antigua, where we went for a honeymoon, right? You know where we went? I think we went for takeout. Like we literally, he's given up everything so that I can do this. So I just got to throw that in there. But no, I've learned incredible. A lot about long ways to go. I thought I knew business, because I was a director at Toys R Us, and I was the head manager at Bye Bye Baby, and I've got that experience of business. But wow, lot that I didn't know that I really needed to learn, and so I'm still in a huge learning curve with business, and technology has never been my strength. I always really use the young folks for that because they're so great at it. But yeah, lots to learn. Still have lots to learn. And even for bread making, right? I wasn't a baker. I wasn't a bread maker. I didn't do this all my life. There's so much to learn. It's a science, you just you're in constant learning with that. And our product it's really amazing. And if I can just tell you one quick thing about our product, have you been to a COBS before?
Have not yet. No.
So if you get a chance, I love you to try. Wish you would try one. It is amazing. Best product. No additives, no preservatives in any of our products. So that alone, and so we say, our product's not going to last you more than 4 days because it's going to go bad, but it freezes really well. So you can freeze. So the fact that we don't use any additives or preservatives in these products that are made by hand, everything's handmade. This is not a production factory. That's exciting. It's exciting for me, and it's proud. I'm so proud to say that, to tell people, there's so many great things about giving back, but the product itself is just second to none. It is second to none. It's really good.
So you had some support from COBS, the franchise.
Yes.
Meaning, training and that sort of thing. You mentioned that. Do you think that, though, that there are certain personality traits that somebody has to have to be an entrepreneur? Yes.
100%.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What are they? A few.
I think that you have to be a good communicator. If you can't communicate well to get your point across, or to get the information that you need, like if you can't do that, you'll be in a world of trouble. And I'm learning that because I'm a good talking communicator, but I'm not like a professional communicator. So I'm learning. But yeah, there's it's nice to have support in multiple areas. Like, there are places I can go to, like there's Elgin Business Resource Center here in St. Thomas, and you can go there and they will help you with, if you're about to start a business, they'll help you with a business plan. But once you're in a business, they give you assistance as well. So there's help out there. I think if you're not looking, I don't find any help. But if you get out there and really look, you'll find there are people. It's amazing how many places that are out there that don't even cost you money, that you can just really get help for, that don't cost. And then if you can get support in your family, I can't imagine somebody going into business not having that support. That would be the biggest challenge, I would assume, and something I don't deal with.
Yeah. What I was going to ask you is, what one thing would you tell someone who's a budding entrepreneur thinking they have a good idea, maybe wants to start a business, and they're watching you and how enthusiastic you are? What would you tell them? What's the first thing they should do?
Don't give up. Don't give up. No matter what, don't give up. Be kind to yourself and prepare to work. Like, just because you go into business for yourself doesn't mean that now you sit at home and watch TV and eat bonbons. I mean, you have to work. You have to be there and growing your business and learning your business, understanding what's happening in your place of business. Doesn't matter. This franchise is very unique in that a franchise owner, and a lot of franchises do not need to put the time in that a business like COBS does. But because we are producing a product from scratch, you have to be here. You have to be here every day. Maybe, maybe not 7 and it could be 6, but you can't go into a business and not be there. That just doesn't work. I see it over and over and over again in businesses I walk into just to make a purchase of myself. And I can tell you in 5 seconds if there's an owner been there that week. I can tell you right away. Or if an owner's even engaged, because the service you get will be totally dependent upon that. So I would say, be at your business.
I could ask you many more questions, but I know you have to get back to work. So thank you so much, Alicia. It was lovely speaking with you. And congratulations again on all your success.
Yes, thank you. We're really excited. Year 2, here we go. And we know it's going to be another tough go, but it's so far so good.